YouTube, it's me back again. I just wanted to try to do as quick a video as I can, but also touch all the points. I don't have a lot of time. And I actually did this video already once and I lost my media and I was very upset about it. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so this is my pregnancy update week number 28 and I'm so excited about it. As I've mentioned before, rolling over a new week is always like super exciting. It's always wonderful, something to look forward to, something to be grateful for, and it's just, I don't know, it feels really good. This one, however, is even cooler. There's like more exception because I am officially in the 3rd trimester. That is huge. Like rolling over into a new trimester is like rolling over a new week on steroids. You know, it's like, it's massive. And what's crazy about it is I've been talking about it in videos like all along, how basically everything is in preparation for the 3rd trimester because it is a lot on your body. And I can feel the shift. I can feel it happening. It is a lot on your body. So I've been doing everything I've been doing in preparation for the 3rd trimester. That's not to say that I don't still have plenty to do, because I definitely still have plenty to do, but it was stuff that was reserved for the 3rd trimester for a reason. And so I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm at, really, you know. So first of all, let's do a bump date. I'll just go ahead and do that first, and then we'll talk symptoms. And there's my bump date. Go this way. Yeah, definitely in there. Definitely in there. So for symptoms, I don't think I have anything new. I didn't do a 27-week pregnancy update. I also didn't take an updated picture, which is really disappointing because I've wanted to take a weekly picture every week, and it doesn't take a lot of time and it's not much to take a picture. But when I tell you that last week was crazy, this week is crazy, next week is crazy, like, I'm not lying. It's crazy. It's crazy. I have something every single day this week. It's crazy. So anyway, I'm just squeezing this video in where I can. And so I just wanted to kind of touch on 27 and 28 weeks. But like I said, there's really not been any like new symptoms. It's just more continuation. Like I said, the freckles, like your sun just like, or your skin just drinks in the sun when you're pregnant. You know, and I'm a redhead and I'm lightheaded, so, or light-skinned. I'm like, well, I'm kind of lightheaded too, but, and so it's worse. Like, I'm just like freckle city. It's so many freckles. And they're dark, you know, and stuff like that. You know, the broken veins, I don't know that I've noticed any more, but it's just, they're just still here. Obviously, they're not going away. Heartburn is still here with a vengeance, man. Like, it is here. It is rough. It is hard, for sure. I was trying to think if there was anything else really that I'm dealing with like regularly. I will say what's new is, you know, sleep is becoming difficult, and it's not so much that I'm like miserable or I have to pee every 5 minutes or anything like that. It's not that. It's just literally I'm in the pregnancy pillow, and which I'm grateful for, and it is very comfortable and it's all that, but sleeping in the same position night after night after night, it makes your body sore. And I remember with my pregnancy with my daughter, I was like, oh my gosh, if I never see this pregnancy pillow again, I'll be fine with it. Again, not because it's not wonderful and comfortable and everything else, but night after night after night in the same position, and you're getting bigger and you're trying to navigate yourself, which is already difficult. You have this big basketball in the front of you, so it's just hard. It's heavy. You're counterbalancing the weight all the time, or trying to get yourself up out of bed and everything. That's all a task in and of itself. But getting out of the pregnancy pillow and then out of the bed, oh my God, it's like an Olympic event. It's rough. But other than that, I don't think there's any like new symptoms to speak of. I can't remember exactly what I was going to talk about. I don't think there was anything else. As far as the baby moving, I always say that there's consistency and inconsistency, and what I mean in that It is kind of like an oxymoron, but what I mean by that is she doesn't consistently move a certain time of day anymore, where she used to. And I think a lot of babies do that. She doesn't really. She's kind of now starting the last few nights, I noticed, getting back on the track of getting like, you know, more active later in the evening. So maybe some consistency is coming back, but otherwise there's no consistency. It's just consistent throughout the day. Does that make sense? You know, have a little sporadic here, a few minutes later, have a little thing there, you know, and she's still more of a rolling baby or a fidgeting baby than she is like a donkey kick baby. Where my daughter, oh man, she was a donkey kick baby, clawing me from the inside, just like all this different stuff. Where this one is like, so far, again, I'm only 28 weeks, but so far she's pretty chill. She is moving, she's moving enough, but like if I were to count kicks, I had these really strong, defined donkey kicks from my daughter. I could have counted them all day. I'd have probably been up to 150, something crazy like that. Like, she kicked so much. But this one doesn't, I mean, not to say she never kicks, but it's not really her move, you know? There's flutters, there's rolls, there's kicks, there's ticklies, you know, stuff like that, but not necessarily just donkey kicks. So there's consistency and inconsistency, but she does it enough, you know, like I said, now through the day. Like, I really don't worry. She's very active. So, and then besides that, I wanted to talk a little bit. I got a question. Actually, I wish I would have wrote down who asked me the question, and I didn't. But on my last pregnancy update video, I got a question, and I was very excited about it. So I wanted to say, if you're watching my videos and you're following along, I really appreciate you being here. I think it's wonderful. I started doing this just to document this for myself, and it was supposed to be a lot more vlog style video channel, whatever, and it's just turned into me sitting here chit-chatting, but it was like more for documenting myself, thinking, well, if anybody followed along, that, you know, that would be wonderful. And come to find out, there are some, and I do think it's wonderful. And so I do not remember your name. I'm so sorry, I did not write it down, but I wanted to thank you for your question. Anyway, she was saying, what about your TMI symptoms? I did respond to that comment. If you want to go back and find that comment, I did respond to that comment and kind of give a little more detailed answer. But as I said to her, I just don't really, I try to keep my videos not as much TMI in there, but I think she was alluding to like gas, more or less. I am naturally like a burper. Like, if I'm gonna have any gas at all, it's gonna come out like this way rather than the other way. And so, but that is something that I've noticed, especially coinciding with the heartburn. Oh my gosh, if I get like that wave of heartburn and I'm dealing with that, it's miserable. And, you know, my husband's cousin sent me something, and it's like, the baby's laying on things funny, blah, 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 causing GI issues. And I think that is probably the case, because, yeah, wow. But if I treat myself for heartburn and I can get the heartburn to kind of chill and calm down, then I do actually get relief from the gas as well. So it is terrible, but it's also not always terrible. If that makes sense. I do have some other TMI symptoms. They are largely side effects of medications that I'm on, progesterone and aspirin. I have tapered off on both of those, not because I think I know more than my doctor, but I do know my body. I didn't like the way that after a time of being on those medications, it was making me feel, you know. I had very specific side effects from the progesterone. Some of them are a little bit TMI, I you know, but one of them is just extreme unexplainable tiredness. Yeah, And some other things, I was actually looking up side effects like online. When I originally did this video, I was looking up side effects online of progesterone, and I was like, huh, maybe I had more symptoms than I recognized that I did. So I still take it occasionally. It's just not as regularly as it's supposed to be. But what I'm thinking is, I'm 28 weeks now. It's been established in my body and everything, and I am still taking it. I'm just not taking it regularly. I think I'll pick it back up more on a regular basis, like in the next couple of weeks, and then I'm supposed to stop that week 36. So I'm thinking maybe I'll pick it back up at 32 weeks, and because I'm keeping it established in my system, and then I'll take it more consistently up to 36, I think is what I'm gonna do, because it's a big ask. Progesterone days, I do not look forward to them. Like the day after, they're terrible. And then the aspirin I'm taking regularly, but not every day anymore, simply for the fact that I have been monitoring my blood pressure regularly. If you haven't followed along thus far, I dealt with preeclampsia in my first pregnancy. I've been taking aspirin every single day since 16 weeks as a precautionary measure for the preeclampsia. And by all means, it's not something that I want to get again, so I do want to be very proactive about it. And I have happily taken the aspirin until I started feeling really, really, really terrible. And then I started monitoring my blood pressure daily, and it was running in like the mid 90s over like the mid to upper 50s, which I felt was low. And again, I was not feeling good at all. And I started to notice it, started to monitor. And then there was one morning in particular, I took it and it was 92 over like 53. And I was like, this is like, it's dropping me too much, I feel. So I am still regularly taking it, but I'm not taking it every day. And I do feel more balanced as a person. I feel better. My blood pressure readings are better. They're a lot more normal average, like 110. I mean, I kind of like run lower anyway, but 110 over like 60 something. To me, I'm like, I'm great with that, and I feel better. So that's like my main. I might use like markers or margins, but like my main thing is like regulating things so that I feel right, So that's what I've been doing. So yeah, I touched on the TMI. I was talking about that. Yeah, there are a couple of TMI symptoms. If you're really interested, go back and read my comment responding to that question. Just because I try not to get too graphic, and pregnancy is a graphic thing. It just really is. Like, yes, I am definitely dealing with things. I haven't gotten stretch marks really, but I have gotten the broken veins, so there's that. But I've noticed changes in parts of my body, obviously, but in a different way even than I did in my first pregnancy. I've noticed some, like I said, side effects of the drugs themselves that were just a little graphic. So anyway, so there was that. And then a final thing that I wanted to talk about was, we went to the zoo last week, and I mean, we were there all day, and I did pack precautionary things just to ensure that we were comfortable, taken care of, no sunburns, to keep cool so that we wouldn't overheat, all the whole 9 yards that way. Lots of water. Something else that I do want to note in this video, and I did note it in the video that I didn't get to post, is I follow somebody on TikTok, and I can't remember his handle either. I wish I would have wrote all this down, and I didn't. This man shared that most of the time nowadays we drink heavily filtered water, and the minerals have gone out of our water. Therefore, we're drinking so much water, but it's just kind of running right through us. There's no minerals that are like actually feeding our body. So therefore, we're drinking all this water, taking on all this water, but we're dehydrated. And one of the things that they were very concerned about with me whenever I went into labor with my daughter and, you know, did that, I was dehydrated. And I was like, there's no way I'm drinking gallons of water. So I have made the switch since I saw that video, and I'm trying to just drink tap water. We do have a well, so we have a whole house filtration system. That it just kind of gets the uck out or whatever, but I'm not drinking twice filtered water anymore because I want to try to avoid that. You know, I don't want to be dehydrated. Hello. So I just wanted to kind of pass that along, just because I was saying that because I took water to the zoo and stuff. But anyway, so yeah, I took all the stuff, precautionary measures, right? And, you know, it was working out really good. But I have to say, I did struggle some, like towards the end. We did take a couple of breaks, but we were there for 6 hours and we walked. We have the most beautiful zoo and I was really enjoying it. And as I was walking, I had a little swelling in my hands and my feet, like nothing alarming, probably as much as I would normally have when I'm not pregnant. But when I got home, we left the house in the morning. We left the house at like almost 10 o'clock in the morning, okay? We got home that night at 8. That is how long I was out being active throughout the day. And whenever I got home, I had no swelling in my feet. And if you are a preeclampsia survivor, if you formerly had it, whatever, you know how huge that is. And I'm not trying to brag, but oh my gosh, like that was so huge, because by this time in my pregnancy before, I was soaking my legs in cool water every night. We were doing all these different things to try to get the swelling down in my legs and my ankles, blah, 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 this and so. It was getting to be a real issue by this point in my pregnancy the first time, and so far it's okay. By the 8th month, just totally nothing you could do about it. It was literally terrible swelling. It was the worst. And so I was really proud of that fact. I was really excited. I could have cried, honestly. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh. I've been monitoring myself and monitoring my body, and I felt like I could do it. And then whenever I got home and I was just looking at my feet, I was just in amazement. I was in amazement because it is the exact opposite of my experience the first time. So I was really happy. Otherwise, I don't know that there's anything else to report in terms of my 27-28 weeks and new stuff or anything like that. Just very excited about the 3rd trimester. You know, it's coming, and you have these moments of detachment, not where you forget you're pregnant, but it's like this detachment. But you have to remind yourself, it's not like this baby's gonna live in here forever. Like, she's gonna come out and she's gonna be here, and I'll see these little clothes and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really happening. It's very exciting. I have a very big day tomorrow. I'm hoping I can get this video posted tonight because I had fully intended on posting this video yesterday. But tomorrow's my CBC and glucose test. So I'll be at the clinic for a couple hours. And honestly, my job is becoming such a nightmare and so overwhelming that I dread this glucose test so much. But I think I'll welcome it just to get away from my job. It's just becoming horrendous. And so anyway, but I'm nervous because I failed the glucose test the first time and I had to take the 4-hour one, and I just don't want to do that again. But yes, so I'm doing that tomorrow. So for me, for us in our household, my husband's going with me. Pretty big day. And then Friday, so today's Tuesday, tomorrow's Wednesday. And then Friday, I have my doctor's appointment and I get my RhoGAM shot. Again, RhoGAM shot is when you have a negative blood type, in the event that you could possibly be carrying a positive blood type baby. RH, they call it the RH factor. So that's what it's for. But so a lot of things going on this week. This doctor's appointment is considered my monthly appointment, even though it's been 3 weeks since my last appointment. Scheduling purposes, we did it this way. So this will be a 3-week appointment. And then after that appointment, I go to bi-weekly appointments for 1, 2, 3, I guess 4 appointments, and then I'll switch to weekly. So, you know, it's coming. I mean, that's a little ways away, but it's coming. I mean, it is. So, yes. So tomorrow, CBC and glucose test. Wednesday, and then Friday, my doctor appointment, RhoGAM shot, and my last monthly visit, and then I go to bi-weekly. So it's big stuff. It's big stuff. Be on the lookout for other videos from me. I will post results. Like I'll talk about like the tests themselves and the shot and my doctor's appointment. I'll talk about all of that in my next update video because all of that will happen between now and 29 weeks. So I will talk about that in the 29-week update. I want to thank you so much for following along if you are. I think that's wonderful. I'm so glad you're here. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to comment them. Like, subscribe, whatever. What do the YouTubers say these days? Like and subscribe. Share with your friends. Like, I don't know. When you're pregnant, you're in that world, and sometimes it is nice to follow along with other people that are pregnant at the same time as you. It is for me. I follow a couple, so I get it. Like, yeah, it's fun. So until next time, I think that's it for now. I'm pretty sure. Oh, and another thing I'll be having come up pretty soon is the What's in My Hospital Bag video, and I'm very excited to share that. I'm very excited. I've been working hard on my list, and it's exciting to do it the second time. And I'll get into that in the video, but doing it the second time versus the first, it is different. It is different. It's cooler. So be looking out for that. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.